Hey everyone, Jonathan here coming to you to speak about our Nuts Fish Fact Friday, Sea Creature Friday, and let's kind of dive into it. So, we're going to be speaking about a mammal that is highly intelligent, powerful, and socially complex animals on the earth. If you guessed it, that's right, we're going to be speaking about killer whales out there. So, this killer whale's name is Dylan, at least according to his little tag that I have here um, and everything. So um, they're some of the most recognizable out there. And so with their striking black and white contrasting patterns, they have incredible hunting abilities. Orcas are sometimes called the wolves of the sea and everything. So with that in mind, we're going to dive into talking about them. Obviously, we know much about their identifying characteristics. We see them a lot. They have that nice black top with the white underbelly. Their fins are also jet black, their tail fin and their dorsal fin. Couple fun things about them, though. Um, their dorsal fins are unique, so that makes them an easy identifier. And in this little saddle piece, which is typically gray, is all unique to every single killer whale out there. So this is how a lot of scientists use to identify them: their dorsal fin and their saddle on the back, um, and everything. We all see the dolphins. Well, technically, in a way. But the orcas all have these white eye patches. That's actually their eyes aren't there, but they're right by their eyes, which are typically a lot smaller out there. The real eyes and darker. So um, their dorsal fins are very iconic. They're triangular and, as I mentioned, completely unique to them, and they can get as tall as 6 feet tall. So they can be massive out there, taller than a lot of humans and everything. Um, Orcas are one of the most widely distributed mammals, marine mammals, excuse me, around the planet. You can find them in every ocean, everywhere, from freezing cold Arctic to tropical waters out there. You're going to see them mainly, though, they do like to be in the closer coastal, cooler waters. So you'll see them a lot in the Pacific Northwest. We know there's tours out there to see them. Norway, New Zealand, Iceland, stuff like that. South Africa has a huge population of orcas out there. So, and with orcas, each orca pod or group has different types, or there's different groups of them. I shouldn't say each one, but there are many different types of orcas out there, and these called are ecotypes. They live in specific regions and have their own behaviors, their own diets, and everything. So, and even vocal patterns. So, some it's really dependent where they are. So, for example, there's the resident orcas. These guys are typically like in the Pacific Northwest, mostly will feed on the salmon and everything. And then you'll have the transient or bigs orcas that'll prey on mammals like seals and dolphins. Um, you'll have your offshore orcas live far out to sea and everything. And these guys sometimes will prey on sharks. Um, and the big thing with these guys, with these different type of ecotypes, is they don't really get along, and um, they never interact with each other out there. And part of that is they have their own languages, so they don't really be able to communicate that well. Most orcas, you'll see the females will get anywhere from 18 to 22 feet in length, weighing between 4,000 and 7,000 pounds, whereas the males will get upwards of 26 feet and weigh closer to 12,000 pounds out there. However, despite their size and their weight and everything, orcas are very fast. They can get up to the speed of 34 miles per hour when they're chasing their prey. They're known to have long lifespans. Many orcas will live between 50 and 80 years old, and they've even seen some as old as 90 years old. However, most typically will be somewhere between 30 and 50 years of age. Females are also one of the few animals on Earth um, that actually will go through menopause. So I didn't know this until I did my research, but female orcas will go through menopause. However, they stay with their families for their lives, and they're known as the knowledge holders. So they pass down their knowledge to the generations behind them in everything. As we've mentioned, the orcas are apex predators, meaning they're the top out there. Really, nothing hunts them outside of humans and everything like that. Um, and like I said, their diet is really dependent on their ecotype that they have. So it can be, you'll see them in salmon, up to sea lions, seals, everything like that. Um, Orcas have some very unique hunting strategies out there. We've probably seen those videos where they do what's called wave washing, and that's where they're swimming by and by like a floating little chunk of ice. Then and it gets it rocking and creates a big wave, and then knocks this seal or sea lions off for them to be able to eat them. Other ones you'll see them sometimes where they'll swim up onto the beach to chase after the seals or sea lions, whatever they're trying to eat. That one's called strand hunting. Then you'll have carousel feeding, and this is where they swim around in a group, swimming around, creating a big ball of those fish, and then they can swim through and eat the fish. Other ones is tail flipping, and you'll see this a lot of times. They'll flip their back tail if they can get their animal back there, flip them up in the air. This when they hit the water, then stuns them. Um, or if they're attacking sharks, they'll come in, hit them on the side, and try to flip them on to their backside, which then creates a tonic immobility for sharks if they're flipped upside down. So then they can go in and get food that they want. Other is team ambushes, and they work together like wolves to separate the weak and everything and get the animals and share. All these hunting techniques are not hereditary. They actually are taught from their older whales in the pod and everything, and so they teach them down to their young, and that's how each young and each new generation of whales learns everything. Um, Orcas have a powerful biosensor, not excuse me, biosonar, allowing them to navigate and hunt using clicks and echoes. Um, and so some of their intellect actually rivals that of great apes and dolphins. They're actually very smart creatures out there. That's why like SeaWorld could train them and everything. However, SeaWorld does no longer does their orca shows out there. So some last little bit fun facts. Orcas have the second largest brains of any marine mammal next to the sperm whale. The brains develop in areas like linked to emotion, memory, and complex social behaviors. Um, Orcas live in matriarchal pods. That's why the matriarchal, the head one, passes their knowledge and is known as the knowledge holders. Down. Um, each pod has its unique language. So that's why the pods really don't talk to each other. They can't really speak to each other. Be like us going to a foreign country and trying to speak to each other. We each have our own language out there. Orcas will sleep. However, they sleep with half their brain at a time, keeping one active to breathe so that reminds them to breathe and stay alert out there. They are social animals, so they'll have pods that are multi generational families. And orcas are responsible for the only known cases of predator prey reversal. They've been observed attacking great white sharks out there. Uh, Orcas are not dangerous to humans in the wild. There are no recorded uh, orca attacks on any humans out there. And a lot of times, if an orca does get captured and taken into captivity, it will only eat what it was eating out in the wild. They will not eat something different just because of what you feed them. So hopefully you guys enjoy these. So from their complex family bonds to their incredible intelligence, orcas are some of the amazing creatures that we do see out there in the ocean. Maybe one day you get to see one while you're out on your way to a dive site or anything like that, and everything. So all in all, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to hear them. Let me know if there is an animal that you would like me to produce in the future. Have a great day. Hope to see you in the water.